Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary.
Oh, she's already broken, people.
Let me try that again.
You're keeping this in.
Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary fellas, to episode 362 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games.
It's going to be one of those episodes.
Okay.
Just kept going. Keep it all in. The content.
Why do I have the giggles?
I don't know.
It wasn't even that funny.
I know.
I need a minute. I don't know why.
And a one, and a two, and a
This isn't helping.
No, I'm not here to help.
The thing is, I probably will accidentally keep all of this in there because when I'm editing, I just look for the part where I say greetings and welcome, and then I chop it, and then I go to the end. So it's like, I probably will.
I'll keep this in. Just keep it in. That's the intro, everybody. I'm David Mark Moody. You know who I am. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day, and we're going to be talking about video games. We're going to be talking about a ton of shit, but I'm not by myself. I'm here with the amazing Amy, Kate, Alexander. I got your names the wrong way around. Either way, it's a backwards episode, so let's keep going. How you doing, Kate, Amy? Amy, how you doing? I hope you had a good week.
It's been a busy week. Weirdly, I'm like, I'm like really good at planning, and then I accidentally. No, I am. I'd say I am. Well, I do a lot of it.
You do a lot of planning. Now, will you end up at those plans? Who knows?
Well, so I did end up at those plans, and what I realized like halfway through my week last week was, what if I essentially I stopped myself halfway through and went, what the fuck did I do? So we did the last Thursday. We did the
Medforce himself.
We did the podcast with Mr. Joe Medforce, blooddisco.com. And then I set about, edited that, slept, got up early because I had an early start, came back, streamed Pokemon, had food, slept, woke up, board game day.
Yes, you had a very long weekend. Yeah.
And then we did the Among Us evening on Saturday night, slept, woke up, and I was like, why am I so tired? On the Sunday morning, I was like, I'm fucking knackered. Why am I so knackered? And I was like, oh, it's probably like the 3 days of non-stop constant like things that I've been doing. That's probably why.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
How was your whole day on Saturday? Your board days?
Saturday was awesome. Saturday was
I bet
awesome.
that.
Like, my board games are all like back there and stuff. We played a bunch of those. But no, it was a lot of fun. 4 of us played Arkham Horror for the first time. It's a cooperative board game. We got thoroughly wrecked, which is fair because like it was our first time playing it. I don't know if we're gonna get it next time. It's a really hard board game. But no, it was a lot of fun. Good laugh,
Good.
You need a good laugh. And then Saturday night was a lot of fun. Like, before I tell the story, how are you feeling? Because I know you weren't feeling great on Saturday.
I just had a headache. A headache came along and I was just like, nah. I was in bed really early that night. I was in bed, I think, by 9:30.
God damn.
The thing is, I slept both days, Friday night and Saturday night. I slept brilliantly. I can't complain about how my sleep was. I slept till 10 on Saturday morning. I was thinking, I woke up, looked at the phone and went, fuck that. I'm going back to bed. It's the weekend. I ain't getting up yet.
Fuck that. I ain't getting up till at least 6
p.m. 6 a.m. Yeah, I get up at 6 a.m. 9 times out of 10. But
no.
Well, at least on my work days.
Well,
but
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I wanted to play the role of considerate friend before I talked about how awesome Saturday night was, because and I don't mean this in a nasty way, like it would have been better if you had been there, but you not turning up was accidentally like the best thing that could have happened. So what ended up happening was, and bear with me, it'll all make sense. It's not a dig at you. It will make sense in a minute. What happened was, so Paul, Elfie, and Keith were all hanging out in the group chat, and I'd already messaged to say I was going to be late because I was late cooking food. And the Allens had also messaged to say they were going to be late because they'd ordered curry and it was late. So by the time I got there, which was not that late, Keith was already like, "Yeah, that's me. I think I'm going to go log off." And it was like, I mean, I don't like calling people out, but it was like fucking half an hour. After we were due to meet, I was like, how long were you planning on sticking around, man?
Yeah. If we all turned up at the normal time and was very efficient and started, you would have only been there 30 minutes.
It was literally like we chatted for a little bit because I was only like 10 minutes late. And then we chatted for a little bit, and then I went to go and get a drink. And then by the time I came back, the Allens were there. And he'd gone. Like, he hadn't even waited for me to get back. Like, I was just like, he's not there. So there was only 5 of us. And I was like, I don't really want to play a 5-player Among Us. But, like, at the same time, I was, like, annoyed. Because I was like, we've done this. This happened to us, like, a bunch of times when we did it. Where I was like, not enough people turned up. We just sit around and chat for a bit. And then we log off. And I was like, no, not tonight. And we ended up playing Jackbox.
Yeah, so.
Which, I think I'm the only... me and Elfie were the only people there who'd played it before. So the Allens had never played it, and Paul had never played it. And, like... Sneaky Pete might be the funniest person I've ever met in my entire life. Like, we weren't even playing the one where you were supposed to be funny. We were playing Fibbage.
This is the person who literally asked, what is pegging?
What's pegging? No, yeah, but she dropped an answer on a Fibbage question that demolished us so badly. I don't think most of us actually answered the next 2 questions. I certainly didn't, because I couldn't see the screen because it was crying with laughter so much.
Yeah.
And like, it's one of those things where it's like, if I told you the joke, it's not that funny. It's funny when you're there.
Yeah, you have to be there. No doubt about it, yeah.
But fuck, like, everybody was laughing so loud. Somebody woke someone else in their house up. So it was a good laugh.
Did someone wake?
Yeah. No.
That would have been funny.
That would have been funny. Yeah. No one woke Fairworld up. But no, we had a really good time. Like, and I don't want to be like, yeah, Moody, we had a really good time without you. It's just like, if you had been there, we would have played Among Us and probably still had a good time. But because you weren't there, I got really, really like just up on my high horse about like we're gonna fucking do something.
Yeah.
And I own 2 whole Jackbox games. I'm installing one of them right now, and we're playing Fibbage, and we're gonna lie. We're gonna tell lies about each other. And it was a lot of fun. I think everyone there stayed past longer than they had planned to. And then I got texts afterwards being like, hey, we should do that again. And I was like, fuck it. Let's do it again.
Yeah, I saw your thing for this Saturday. Mm-hmm. I'll be there. I'm off.
Awesome. I was planning on, I'm going to talk about this way later in the podcast, but I was planning on hitting the stream button on it. Try and catch some fucking gold. I'm so annoyed I didn't catch Erica's joke on the stream because it would have been one of the greatest clips we've ever had.
That's what I think we should start doing maybe for the podcast, for the channel, is clips. Just funny things, even if it's in the podcast and everything, just funny. We've had breakdowns on this, but we've just like fallen apart.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Like the intro to this podcast.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is Dick Rocket, like absolute bangers. The only problem is it's like I don't know if I have the time. Like,
we'll discuss. Maybe I can help you. I don't know if I can, but I will try.
Well, we'll have a think. I mean, yeah, I was thinking about that because obviously, like, and yeah, let's do Jackbox on Saturday. Like, either way, like, the best part is you only need like 3 people to play it. So even if everyone fucking bails, it's like, oh, well, there's still 3 of us. You want to play?
Yeah.
But
3 of us are still dirty-minded, so it's
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Like one of the questions came up, and it was a fact because we played the Fibbage about you one, which was like make up stuff about your friends, and then we just played the general one, which was just make up stuff about historical facts. And one of the questions was about this woman who had this like weird. It was like, oh, she claimed she could read the future by looking at blank. And obviously you fill in the blank of it. So there was 6 people there, Moody. 4 people wrote some variation of the word boobs. And I remind you, you're trying to trick people into clicking on the one that is the most likely to happen. And 4 people could not resist trying the word boobs.
She foresaw the future by looking at boobs.
Boobs. We had a boobs, we had a boobies, we had a breasts, and we had a titties. And I love the fact that 4 people wrote those, but also 4 people wrote different words.
Different variations of it.
All different variations, but we were all on the same track. Like there was 3 rounds in a row where me and Phil told the same joke.
That's not surprising. That ain't surprising whatsoever.
And I finally admitted to everyone that when I was a small child, I punched a swan in the face.
They can be aggressive. The only get them away is by hitting them. So.
Oh yeah. No, it was. Well, I was like 6 or 7. Apparently, I don't remember it. I remember the holiday. I was throwing bread to the ducks and the swans in this pond. And I had like all the little big slices of bread in my other hand. And apparently this swan just fucking solid snaked like around.
Behind you.
Yeah. And it got the bread, but it also got like my hand in its mouth. And just out of sheer instinct, apparently, tiny little 6-year-old me, who wasn't much bigger than this swan, just fucking swung and punched it in the head.
You saw you read Wonder Woman that night, and you were like,
so fucking let's go.
What would Diana do? Is this a war crime? Because they are protected by the Queen,
because
the
like
king.
they were, because again, but I was like, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. Like it's a story my parents have told me, but the question didn't come up on the night where I was like, did you just admit to a crime? And I was like, maybe. I just think you're not allowed to kill them.
Assault them's okay.
And also I've got a pretty strong case for self-defense. It had my hand in its mouth.
It attacked first.
Yeah. It won the initiative.
Yeah.
Before that time,
I did not give it permission to touch me.
Right. I'm into a bunch of stuff. Maybe not when I was 6. I don't know. No, I can't make that joke here.
No. Unless you're next to Prince Andrew.
Fuck. So yeah, I was thinking like because I do like the highlights things of like complete. So like I haven't completed a game. Like, when I complete Pokemon, I was going to do it, but I was thinking about just, like, making clips and stuff. We want to make a Words About Games TikTok and just post, like, clips on there. Everyone always tells me to diversify. We're already on 2 platforms, doing completely different things. But I don't know. It's a lot of work.
I will get my partner to just subscribe to the channel. I will not create an account on TikTok. I refuse to.
So this is not like Phil. He once told me the only reason he's not on TikTok is because he fears that he would spend too much time scrolling through TikTok, and he does that exact thing on Instagram Reels. Like,
I do that on Instagram.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm going TikTok because I'll spend too much time on there. And it just isn't on Instagram. It's like, it's the same thing. Some people just post the same stuff on there.
Yeah, true. But first, Amy, it arrived.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah. Wholesome Direct 2023. It's a memento of a better time.
Of a great time.
Of a much better time.
Of a good week.
Of a good week.
And I've got one more shift, and then I'm off for a week.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
To turn 37.
Shit, that's next week. See, I told you this would happen. When they delayed Stray Gods, I was like, I knew I was going to get confused about when your birthday was. I was like, shit, that is next week. Okay. I need to tie your birthday to the release of a different game.
Baldur's Gate, isn't it?
Baldur's Gate. It's going to have to be Baldur's Gate. I'm going to sit down and play Baldur's Gate next week, and I'm going to go, it's Moody's birthday.
And I'll reply, Amy, it was 2 days ago.
Yeah. Blame Summerfall Studios. It's their fault. That's cool. That's cool. 10:37. Did you just say 37? Or just make that number?
37.
Okay, cool. I don't know.
Did I make a number up?
Did I just make that number up? I was like, I'm sure he said it, but I don't know if he did say it. Why? What's going on? 37. Nice. I did that. It's
last year.
It's fine. It's fine. Who knows? I barely remember.
Yeah, that's true. You've had a week.
No, in general, like it's one of my things. Like I have to do the maths whenever anyone, because you know how you have to like enter your date of birth in like everywhere all the time. So like I know what my date of birth is, but every time someone asks me how old I am, I have to stop and do the maths. That's not a joke.
I've been forgetting what my age was right now over the last, like, since I turned 36. So ever since then,
Is that it?
like, how old am I?
Is that the checkpoint? It's like,
Well, it was for me. I'll be my birthday next week, and I'll say, how old am I? Am I 38 now?
I think there comes a point in a person's life where they stop giving a shit about like how old they are. And I think that's a different point for everyone. And I think you either go one of two ways with it. You either go the route of just, I'm so old, to everything. Like whenever someone says, hey, this game came out 20 years ago, oh man, that makes me feel really old. Or you go the other way with it, where you're just like, age is just a fucking number. Time is a concept created by humans. Humans suck. Therefore, it doesn't matter.
Me, I've just been saying I've been old since I turned 18. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, like we're on opposite ends of that spectrum. You've been an old man for the last 30 years, and I'm just like, you give us whatever.
I've been an old man since I was 7. Damn.
I assume when you were born with a flat cap on.
I missed my flat cap. I don't know where it went.
It's such an iconic part of your ensemble. Just like from the fact that like for most of the time that I've known you, your social media picture is you in a flat cap.
Yeah.
But I never see you wear a flat cap. But if someone said,
I don't know where it is.
but if someone said like Moody wears flat caps, I'd be like, hell yeah, he does. And it's like I've never physically seen you wear one, but I see it every day.
Yeah, no one at work has seen me wear a flat cap.
I think that's a crime.
That's a crime indeed. But they're expensive. Like decent ones. If I'm gonna get a flat cap, I'm gonna get a fucking good flat cap.
Right? Like
yeah.
It's not like me in plaid shirts. Like I just get cheap plaid shirts. And when it runs out, I just get another cheap one.
when it
runs out of battery, I just get another cheap one. I don't know. I hope I can carry this energy into Jackbox on Saturday because I feel like I'll clean up.
Well, let's clean up the industry, Amy, because no one else is.
Let's hose that industry down. I play Power Simulator. I think I'd be pretty good at Power.
I've watched the Ghostbusters movie.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right?
Same thing, yeah. You're cleaning up the streets.
You clean up the streets. Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, never cross the streams.
Never cross the streams.
That's the one thing Phil told me. And never cross the streams.
In both scenarios, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Say yes. Exactly.
It's a lot of crossover. Oh, no, I want them to do a Power Simulator Ghostbusters crossover.
Trust me, they probably thought of it.
just to clean the firehouse. I think that would be amazing. That would probably legitimately force Phil to buy Power Simulator because I reckon if that happened, he would buy it.
Oh, he would.
He would. Buy it.
Fuck yes, he would.
Because
yeah, and if we try and book him for another day on Saturday, it'll be like, oh man,
I've got a date. Oh, you had a very nice time on Saturday. Oh, it wasn't with Erica.
It wasn't with Erica.
It's my other one, true love. That's the last thing I want to say as well. So it's about Jackbox. So like obviously the Allens were both playing, and like the objective of Fibbage is to is to like answer a question about yourself, and then everyone else puts something down that's close to the truth. They were really bad at that. I assumed we were playing this game, and I was like, they're gonna fucking rinse us because they're both gonna be able to answer each other's questions like 100%. It was like half and it was like 50-50.
Yeah.
I think
How bad are they married as a married couple?
I think part of the problem was that I know Phil so well, I kept catching Erica out a
lot. So who's married to Phil? You or Erica? That's the ultimate question here.
She's his own wife and I'm his work wife. Or he's my work wife. One of the ways around it goes. We've had too much fun, right, Moody? I'm cancelling the fun. The fun police is in the building. No more fun. Instead, we're gonna do the news. Are you ready for absolutely no more fun? It sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but actually, I'm not. Serious business and stuff. Okay, so this is a full news story. I did what I did last week, where I'm gonna do the full news story because I didn't want to break this down into bullet points. I just read the thing. This is a sequel to last week, I guess, which is a report Zenimax is doing nothing to combat anti-LGBTQ plus bigotry in ESO. This is from James Troughton over at The Gamer. He writes, last month, to mark the end of Pride, several hundred players celebrated queerness in the Elder Scrolls Online with a defiant display marching through Morrowind together. The celebration was organised by Locke and fellow streamers, but supported by developer Zenimax, who provided copies of Necrom to give away and an official blog post detailing the times of the parades and who was holding them. It sends the message that bigots are unwelcome in ESO. But less than a month later, transgender developer Leona Farrant revealed that she was pushed out of Zenimax, ZOS, which is, I just Americanized that, ZOS, which is Zenimax Online Studios, last year, alleging that the studio misgendered her, outed her without her consent, and held her gender-affirming surgeries hostage. Meanwhile, prominent ESO community members reported bigotry growing rampant and unchecked, claiming that ZOS does little to stem this tide, distancing itself from the community it had just publicly pledged to support. Locke even alleges, quote, that ZOS, can you tell I've watched like Americans talking about this specific topic? And I keep calling it ZOS. That's not British.
At least someone's talking about it.
Let me try that again. I'm just going to lean into it. Locke even alleges that, quote, ZOS added a person to their stream team who was connected to the transphobic treatment of trans streamers and supported the person who has been a long-time harasser of our community, end quote. The ESO stream team is described by ZOS as being, quote, comprised of hardworking, passionate, knowledgeable, and dedicated Elder Scrolls Online live streamers that work directly with Zenimax, end quote. Excuse me. By including an individual such as this, it sends a message emboldening bigots as much as inaction has over the past few weeks. Another streamer who wishes to remain anonymous told me of similar issues with Zenimax and its protection of those in the community. Quote, the support you get from the community managers is great, but sadly that's where it ends. I feel very little has been done outside of in-game. Even in-game, I've experienced that reporting bigotry has had no repercussions. We've had community members harassed for months and months without any action taken by Zenimax. There's a lot of frustration going on in the community right now where bigotry and hate seem to go unpunished, end quote. Locke says, quote, whenever attacked for Pride, if you go through Instagram, you'll often see a stock message just saying, ZOS isn't running it, this is a community thing run by Locke. Between bringing known people who support harassers on the stream team, not protecting team's creators, I wonder if that was meant to say trans creators, not protecting trans creators, not punishing bigots in-game, and the stuff with Leona, Zenimax has a company culture of, at best, not caring about marginalized people being harassed, and at worst, of transphobia, end quote. There's a sentiment in the ESO community that no matter the level you're at, be you a player posting to the zone chat or a streamer officially supported by the developer, punishment will vary from lenient to non-existent. Another streamer who wished to remain anonymous to avoid harassment said, quote, a lot of people reported didn't get any repercussions. It makes me lose faith in ZOS and the way they handle these cases. I hope they can take criticism to learn and adapt from this. Even when their own ESO stream team members have been reported for harmful conduct, no action has been taken. ZOS has a lot of work cut out for them, and I hope they will change for the better, end quote. After Farron claimed that she was pushed out of the company after going to HR over alleged transphobia, someone made a post on the official ESO forums sharing a video about the news. This has now garnered over 22 pages of comments, mostly transphobic in nature, some to extreme degrees. Despite moderators being tagged in ESO streamers calling out the thread on social media, it's still up, heightening the worry that bigots in the community will be emboldened by a lack of action. One streamer said, quote, "The fact that Zenimax takes no action to harmful conduct lets the bigotry, hate, and harassment flourish. We need to feel safe, and a lot of us in the ESO community do not feel safe. Trans and other marginalized communities are continuously being targeted, and this needs to be taken seriously by Zenimax. They need to make changes in their TOS and safety policies because it is getting out of hand," end quote.
Another day, another time where most of the industry does not talk about this whatsoever. Again, to all of yous who have not spoken about this, who work in the video game industry, do podcasts, the whole shebang. You should be ashamed of yourself for not talking about this. Unless you're a bigot, then just shut up and just stay out of the way.
Literally, I saw a video posted because I was scrolling YouTube before because I've been binge watching a playlist on YouTube. And literally so read this story, obviously to put it in the show notes, logged off, ate some food, sat down, was like, I'm gonna watch something on YouTube. And I went on YouTube and there was a video by a creator I've obviously watched before because they were popping up on the recommended feed before I had gone to the search bit, and it was like Starfield things, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, this seems about right.
Like I said last week, you can talk about Starfield all you want. I'm excited for Starfield, you know? I've even stated that on many occasions for that. Like Starfield, the presentation they did in June was great, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm looking forward to that game. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting that anyone on the news are like, where the fuck is like anybody in the industry who's a great writer, who's called out shit and reported in terrible shit before, and they're not talking about this. There's no article from them or no nothing. And it's just, it's crap. It's absolute crap. It still irks the crap out of me. Like what I said last week, that we didn't know about this until 2 weeks after it was already posted, until Steph Sterling's video and everything. And it's a load of bollocks. And now you see that, like, and it just proves, like, everybody, let me try this again. Every company who changes their sign just to be more to the Pride flag or whatever version of it for during the Pride month is nothing but a marketing scheme, people. If you've literally never thought that before, I'm really sorry. You've been duped, because it is nothing but a marketing scheme, because they don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck about trans people, any LGBT plus people or anything. They just do not care at all. They care about just what money they're bringing in and everything, and that's all they care about. To see that the community is crying out for tighter restrictions on people and everything, and getting rid of the bigotry that's happening on EOS, and they're not doing anything, well, that's not a surprise whatsoever. They literally forced someone out from the company, withheld their surgeries from them to make sure that she doesn't sue them and everything. It's like it's a whole crap. And I hope what's the lady's name again? Laura, isn't it?
It's in here somewhere. Leona Farron.
Leona, I'm terrible with names. I apologize for that. Leona, I hope she is doing well, and I hope this is she's settling down and just hopefully getting past all of this now and everything. I hope that for herself. And yeah, to everyone, like to the company, you should be ashamed of yourself. You really should be. Like, this is a person. I don't care. People are people, and you should be always like, why we differ people is just beyond me. Like I said, I just don't understand bigotry whatsoever. It just hurts my brain why anyone would want to be a bigot. But everywhere to see this is happening is disgusting in an industry that I love, that I'll champion to the best way I can. But at the same time, I'm always going to call it out for this shit, and this is just complete and utter shit. And they should be ashamed of themselves.
So I was doing a bit there. I was listening to every word you were saying. I searched. I did something I haven't done for a while. I went on Twitter or X.
X.
And I put Elder Scrolls Online in, and the entire time you were talking, I was like, I'm just gonna scroll and then see what I see. There's like one. I saw the articles that we've shared this week's and last week's, and like one other article from somewhere else, and everything else. Apparently, they gave Elder Scrolls Online away free on Epic Games Store last week. I saw a lot of that, but no, I was really.
I'll say this: shout out to the gamer. Shout out to that website, because they're the ones who've done the 2 articles now on this thing, and at least someone has some integrity and everything to at least talk about this. And
it's news. That's what I don't understand about the lack of like coverage. Like, like rewind 6-7 months ago, you couldn't move for tripping over articles about what was going on with Hogwarts Legacy. It's news. You write news about video games and you put it on your news sites. Like, am I missing something here? Like, that's all the game is doing. And like, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that the game is doing it, especially like in the face of like deafening silence to what I'm sure is like the authors of these 2 articles. This week's was James Trout, and I believe last week's was Rhiannon Beavan. Have probably both eaten a lot of shit for it from people who like to shout at people who like to talk about this stuff, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it's not getting traction, because people don't want to get harassed, but at the same time, people are already getting harassed. It's in the news story, but yeah, no, like it sucks, and it's extremely unsurprising to know that all of this happens in like the most depressing way possible for me personally. Like, I don't want to get too much into my own personal life, but like some of the stuff in Leona's story last week was like, I recognize that from my own life or my own experiences, or I recognize that from somebody else who's told me that this has happened to them. Like, there wasn't much in there where I was like, holy shit, I've never heard of that happening before. Apart from the thing with the withholding the medical care, but that's just because I don't know many American people and their healthcare system is garbage. But yeah, no, it's just like the point I was sort of like dancing around last week while you and Joe took the lead on talking about it was just like, I didn't really have anything to say that I haven't already said about stuff like this in the last few years, other than like, I hope Leona is okay now, and like I hope she gets a lot of cool opportunities to just put all this behind her and just move on with her life away from Zenimax Online, who are obviously a shit hole of a company. But like, whenever stuff like this comes up, I get asked my opinion about it by people who don't ask my opinion about anything else in video games, and I get annoyed because I'm just like, listen, man, like, can you just, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be the person who explains it to them because I'm the trans person that they know, and it's just like, fuck off. And that's kind of where I was feeling last week, where I was glad that you and Joe were with me to like sort of do that, because yeah, sure, I have opinions about this, but I'm just sick of being the token trans, I guess. And I didn't quite know how to properly convey that last week. Whereas now I do. It's fuck off, leave me alone, ask me questions about something fun for a change.
Well, it's partially like deja vu again, isn't it? Like, this is twice now this year.
Yeah.
Already about like what happened with Hogwarts, and now what's happening with this. I can completely understand what you just like. I don't really want to be talking about this, so I'm glad you two are here.
Yeah.
Just to fucking shout at
Like,
everybody.
Yeah. I spent all of my stamina and energy 6 months ago. Like,
Yeah. And you just got all your energy back.
yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, video games are cool. Oh, not again. Come on, guys. Like, obviously, two entirely different situations. Like, but yeah, I mean, the important thing here is it's just that, like, this was about a person, and in this case, now that we've had further reporting from the gamer, this is also now about a community of people who love a game, and for the sake of loving that game, and through the act of like creating things like around that, based around that love, like streams and I'm assuming videos and all sorts of other things, like they face harassment just for liking something and being who they are. And then the company that's supposed to be supportive of that community and like have their backs is just fucking asleep at the wheel. Like, nah, man, come on. And that pisses me off, and I think it goes without saying, but I think I'm in that boat of, I think I'm in that same boat that you're in, where it's just like, where the fuck is everybody else? Like, can we have a, I know what I just said about myself, but can we not have the discussion? Like, because we can't. Like, if no one talks about it, we can't even have this discussion. And I'm willing to. I was like last week, the whole situation around the video that went out on YouTube and Steph's video and the sort of like 2 week gap. I was willing to at least partially put down to the fact that the main social media platform where everybody gets their information from is falling to pieces. Which is probably going to cause things to like start slipping through the cracks and stuff. But like, there's been a video that's been big on YouTube. Like, people have started talking about this. Like, even if it's only like 2 sites that I've seen, those 2 sites have still posted things about this. Like, plausible deniability only works for so long, and like that benefit of the doubt is like less in my mind now because like it's been out there now. If we've noticed it, they've noticed it, surely.
That's the thing about it. We literally, our podcast is nothing compared to what everyone else's podcast is, to the news sites that is like IGN, GameSpot, Games Industry.biz, Zero Gamer, freaking the whole freaking shebang, and not a single person is none of them are talking about this. And it's baffling to me when I had to double check. Like you said, Game Industry.biz aren't talking about this, and they're normally on the buzzer when it comes to this type of thing and everything. Like, I haven't seen anything from Jason or whatsoever, which is just baffling.
I don't know if I've ever seen Jason talk about anything like this. Like, he does the studio crunch culture stuff, and he does like big, huge expose things. But I don't know if I've ever seen him like dive into.
That may be fair there, so but either way, he's still a journalist. He says, I am a journalist. I am a video game journalist. I am an video game industry journalist. This is in the video game industry. He should be getting his finger out of his ass and doing something and writing and reporting about this. But he's not here. Just like everyone isn't, and that's the thing about it, which is just so annoying, and it's just tiresome at the same time. It's tiresome to the part of like, our voices won't do anything. If it was a giant thing of like all these big sites talking about this thing, then traction could actually be made and everything, and Zenimax might actually do something. Doubt it, but they might. We don't know. We don't know because none of these big sites are talking about this thing, and it's disgusting. And like I say, they should all be ashamed of themselves. That's why I never give any credence to, like, if anyone like says like I've had a friend of mine say, why have you said like fuck the people at IGN and all like that? I was thinking, because they avoid stories to the best of their abilities just so they can stay face with all of these companies and get their little codes and everything, get their deals in with them all. That's what they always do, and whatnot. And I just can't stand it. And it's the same goes for all the other sites as well. Like, I say FIGN, but I mean it to pretty much all of them, because they care more about having the coverage of talking about a video game instead of talking about what's more important, which is the people in the industry. Who make the fucking video game.
I mean, I don't want to like stop just throwing shit out
No,
directions.
I'm just talking out of a situation like I've had like a friend of mine's asked me this
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
and
It's
I've
like when
just
we
been
say,
honest.
it's like, just to clarify, like what we're talking about. It's like when I say fuck Ubisoft. I mean fuck Ubisoft, the company, not the people that work at that company and have to and make video games. And it's the same here. Like, there's tons of people at IGN who probably would do something about this if they could, but can't. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that because that's how my brain works. But
No, I say fuck them.
no, don't fuck them. There's a lot of cool people who work at IGN. There's a lot of cool people who don't.
Shame none of them were on that panel for the Xbox show.
Indeed.
No, the games that get the
Hey,
Jeff Keighley shit thing.
Jeff Keighley. Oh God, don't. Jeff Keighley. Yeah. But yeah, no, this situation is just like it's like it fucks me up, man. When like like I made a potentially bold claim months and months ago that cost me friends, which was the only reason you're even talking about this is because it'll get you clicks and you don't actually give a shit either way. And like, I feel like I'm being proven right, like right now, because hey, it's happening again, but nobody's clicking on it. So therefore you're not writing about it. Like if people were actually like, if this was about Starfield, would more people be writing on it because more people would click on it?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's about clicks. There's
about
no doubt
clicks.
about it. It's not the it thing to talk about because I'm sure a lot of people in a lot of the fans and everything like that would literally say to all these sites and say, stay in your lane and just talk about video games and everything and whatnot. And I would say fuck you to those people and everything. Because you don't get these games with the people like me. Who create the fucking video games, for fuck's sakes, you fucking idiots. So it's like, yeah, that's it's just it's like we see all the time the industry has got a terrible dark side to it. And I'm not even meaning the fucking idiot fans. The industry itself has a terrible dark side to it, and it's because of like all just idiots and bigotry and the whole corporations and the whole shit of it. But there's some really great people in the industry as well who, if they are hurt and discriminated against or in any way, deserve to have their voice heard and everything. And sadly, the industry is ignoring them. They care more about the video game than the people who make it. And that is not how it should be.
Yeah, I think that's a good summation, not just of this and what we're talking about here, where it's like care more about the people who make the games than the games. Like the people are more important. I think it's like a summation of everything we've been saying for the last half a decade. Here it's just like like I don't really give a shit about the Elder Scrolls. Like and fair play, I don't play the Elder Scrolls Online, never have. But it's like, if I don't really give a shit about the Elder Scrolls Online, if like people who are making it are being mistreated, like my entertainment is not worth that cost.
But
like,
then I also feel for the
no, go on. I was just gonna say, and like, it's not like I'm calling for a boycott Elder Scrolls Online or whatever. Like, no, that's not what's happening here. It's just like like it's that tightrope that people feel like they have to walk, where it's like, just unless the person who is going to benefit the most from the release of the video game is literally a fascist supporter who will use her like influence to harm people. Very specific reference. It's like, you can play a video game and made by a shit company, and you can talk about both the video game is really fun and I love it, and the company that makes it is shit and it needs to change.
Yeah,
you do both simultaneously. It's wild how it works.
Mm-hmm. The thing is about it, like, I feel for the people who are calling Zenimax out about this, who would love ESO, who are calling for them to do stuff about this thing and do stuff about what's happening in the game, and everything, and they're getting ignored by the company who's created this game. So then I'm just like, I've just been saying, care about the people who are creating the games, but the people who are creating the games doesn't give a fuck about the fans who are literally calling out the bigotry that's happening in the game that's been created, and you're just like,
yeah, it's like,
brain
imagine
just blows up, and then you go in multiple different directions.
Like, multiple streamers talked to the game. Only one of them was willing to be named, which is fair. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
even just like as a tiny little fucking podcast that barely anyone listens to, like I'll still like whenever we bring stuff like this up, I'll still sometimes get shit because my social medias are all over the description of the video. So I can only imagine how bad it is for someone when someone like Locke, whose name's just been shared in a, and I'm assuming is a prominent member of the community, but like imagine how it must be to be one of these streamers to like love the game and to like do a whole Pride celebration where there's this whole like fucking, you know, they march through Morrowind, the best Elder Scrolls game, like to celebrate Pride. And like, and it's awesome, and then it's them and all the people in their cool community. And then like for the last month, it's just been like, all right, cool, but like there's people still harassing us in game, and we're reporting it, and it's getting nowhere, and like people are harassing us out of the game, and we're reporting it, and it's getting nowhere. And now this news story's come out about Leona Farron, and someone's posted that they say a video. I'm going to assume it's Steph Sterling's video. Someone's posted maybe Steph Sterling's video in the forums, and the replies are like majority transphobia, and nothing's being done about it. And imagine being one of those streamers, or even just someone in the Elder Scrolls Online who loves the Elder Scrolls Online and is just like, you know, seeing all this shit and just being like, fuck, like, what the fuck, man? This thing that I love is just like actively harmful for like me personally, like not me personally, obviously. I guess I was role playing in that moment, and like that's just gotta fucking suck. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't read up my brain. I mute myself. I'm thinking, don't forget to unmute. Don't forget to unmute. Then I just forget to unmute. Always do it.
The thought comes into your head and it knocks the "don't forget to unmute," and you just say it, and I just go, "Yep."
Dead silence.
Dead air, baby.
I could have been saying the most brilliant thing I've ever said in my life, and no one caught it.
Probably not. You said a lot of brilliant things. That hot bar's really high.
Oh, thank you.
I saw a fork in the road. I was like, do I go down that route, or do I go the other way? And I was like,
am I sarcastic, or do I say something nice? Sarcasm, nice.
I'm going to say something nice. Because he's going to be playing Jackbox on Saturday, and he's going to hear enough from me.
Fucking nail him. Then.
I'm going to fucking destroy him. Yeah. So that was that. I would like a week off from talking about this, like next week. So please, God, save your news stories. Thegamer.com. Just until next Friday, and then we can talk about it the week after. I'll go where the news takes me. Like,
that's true.
But I'm just hoping for my own personal selfish benefit that it doesn't take me there.
And this
next
is the
week.
worst thing about it, like what we've already stated. Like, if Steph didn't do their video, we wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't have talked about it last week, and we wouldn't have been talking about it this week. You might have seen it, maybe,
caught this. Like, doing the show notes, I probably would have caught this week. Like this news story. Like, I don't know how. Like, when we were doing the show notes the week before last, I don't know how I missed the Gamers news story about the first one, because that was published. We should have done that on the podcast before, but I just missed it. Like, but this one, I saw it when I was scrolling, doing the show notes. I already had this in the doc because I put it in Discord earlier in the week, but I wouldn't have missed it the second time. That's the thing, when it's only one news article in like the 12 sites that I visit for news for like, you know, the Words About Games podcast, it's like, well, I'm going to fucking miss stuff. Like, that just happens. And like, normally the way I catch this stuff is by seeing people in my like social circle talking about it on Twitter, but I'm not on fucking Twitter anymore. And all Twitter wants to talk about is Twitter. So I've barely been on it. I've literally... I open X to talk to DM people. And then I close it. And then I open Blue Sky. And that's where I do my social media browsing. My phone, I got a notification off my phone at the beginning of the week that said I used my phone. Last week, my daily screen average was 5 hours less than normal. I was like, fucking damn.
Dang.
Damn. Thanks, Elon. You're getting me off my phone. It's no wonder I feel like I have so much more time on my hands these days. But yeah, no, yeah, one of the places I would have picked up on this was Twitter. And the bird is dead.
The bird is dead. The bird is dead, people.
Oh,
the blue bird is dead.
Blue bird. Cool. So we've got reviews to do. Well, we've got a review and we've got an impressions. Mine's not really a review. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first, yes. All right, let me just put this here so I've got something to look at and put you here.
Whoa!
What? I didn't give you permission. What are you doing?
Fuck you, Swan!
Oh, I don't know if I'll do it for the rest of the episodes, but I have played the first episode of The Expanse, a Telltale series. Episode 1, Voyages to the Unknown. The Expanse Telltale series sets sail on an unfortunate journey, unforgettable journey from the very first episode, Journey to the Unknown. As a fan of both Telltale's signature interactive storytelling and the beloved The Expanse universe, I couldn't be more thrilled with the seamless marriage of these two incredible storytelling mediums. From the moment the episode begins, it becomes evident that the developers have paid immense attention to capturing the essence of the source material. The attention to detail in the environments, the character designs, and the authentic portrayal of the spacefaring technology instantly transports players into the distant future, where humanity's survival rests on a knife's edge. Unless you're in the Racinete. One of the strongest aspects of the episode is its well-crafted characters. Players are introduced to a diverse cast, each of with their own motivations, struggles, and unique personalities. The choices... Let me just give myself a space bar to give myself a little bit of a breathing room. The choices presented throughout the episode not only influence the narrative, but also offer insight into the complexities of these characters. Whether it's dealing with political intrigue on Earth or navigating the challenges of life in the Belt, every decision feels impactful, and the weight of responsibility is paramount. The narrative pacing is masterful, balancing the moments of tense action with emotional charged interactions. The story weaves seamlessly between different locations, each offering a distinct atmosphere. Let me try that again. Each offering a distinct atmosphere and engaging plot lines. As players make choices, they begin to comprehend that every decision has repercussions, which significantly contributes to the sense of agency and immersion to the game. The exceptional voice acting further enhances the emotional depth to the characters. Hearing the familiar voices of the beloved characters from The Expanse. The Expanse TV show makes the experience even more authentic and helps establish a strong connection between the players and the game's world. The visual presentation is top-notch, capturing the grittiness of life in the Belt, the majestic beauty of the outer planets, and the bustling metropolis of Earth with every brilliance. Whether it's exploring the campered corridors of the spaceship or witnessing breathtaking views of distant celestial bodies, the game consistently delivers stunning visuals that adds to their overall immersion. Voyage to the Unknown ends with a tantalizing cliffhanger, leaving players eager for more. Even though I was like, what? No, not now.
I like this.
Yeah, something like that. The episode successfully lays the groundwork for an epic and an emotional charged adventure, making players invested in the fate of the characters they've come to care about. Overall, the Expanse Telltale series, Episode 1, Voyage to the Unknown, is an outstanding start to what promises to be an enthralling narrative journey. It successfully captures the essence of the Expanse universe while leveraging Telltale's expertise in interactive storytelling, along with Deck 9. Let's not forget about them. With its engaging characters, compelling choices, and amazing world, this episode leaves players hungry for the next installment, excited to uncover the mysteries that lie ahead. I'm not going to give a
Don't give a
rating
star yet, no.
until I've played the entire game.
Well, I think you should do a review of this episode, obviously, which you've just done, and then we'll do the last episode as like a series review, and then when you're ready to do that one.
Oh, well, would you have caught up?
I don't know. What platform did you buy this on?
I have bought this on PS5.
Then probably not, because I got Baldur's Gate to buy next.
You gonna try Baldur's Gate, are you?
I fucking love it. Yeah. Like this is off topic, but yes, Baldur's Gate.
Cool. Yeah, I really loved this first episode. It was just like it just felt home. I was just like, I'm back in the Expanse. This is fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. I love the TV show. I haven't started reading the book yet. It's literally next on my pile to read. That's why I went to go and grab it, because I was like,
cool. Yeah. I've been thinking of getting the audibles for it because I prefer listening to it as an audible.
So it looks like a big book, but actually, like the text is not like tiny like you would expect for a book this size. So it's probably not actually that long. So like as an audible, it's probably not like a fucking Lord of the Rings style.
10 hours, 20 hours long. Yeah,
it might not be that bad. But yeah, no, that's good. That's good that you enjoyed the first episode. I look forward to hearing more about. Your experiences with future episodes, and also to break into your home and steal your PlayStation so I can play it. But before I do that, I'll let you play all 5 episodes first. So yeah, like what's it about? Like, because obviously, like it's not an adaptation of the TV show. Is it like a story like from within the chronology of the series?
Prequel.
It's a prequel. All right, cool.
To my knowledge, it's a prequel. Yeah, this is before the show even starts and everything. So what's it about? It's more character in depth right now. The first episode, like I stated, like the characters you really get on well with, and have even if you don't get on well with, just like this is really good dialogue. I'm liking this.
I don't like
how
you,
the voice acting and how the voice acting is everything. Just like. That really helps as well and elevates it really, really well. That was one part, and I was just like, "Oh, Amy's gonna like this part." That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I know who the main character is, so
yeah. But no,
there's a lot of things that can mean really. Don't get my hopes up.
So it ends on a cliffhanger, and what. The story is not much of a story in it right now. It's literally just more setup, but I think it sets itself really well. And thanks to the characters throughout and the funness that you have with them, even if you don't like a lot of them or something like that, it's just really, really a fun thing. And it's just like
if you don't like a character in a Telltale game, it's fine. You'll have the opportunity to kill them at some point. Ben.
Yeah.
But How much, Ben?
Poor Ben.
Oh, I dropped that fucker.
I did the first time.
I dropped him like a fucking rock. How much interactivity is there in the game? Like how much gameplay is there? Like
what?
That's good. Yeah. Because that was one thing I really liked about the first season of The Walking, and I know this is a different Telltale, but like the first season of The Walking Dead had like a pretty decent amount of gameplay, and then I feel like as Telltale went on, that got less and less, like there was less and less gameplay. So that was on my mind about this.
The only real negative I would say for the episode is but I think this would get rectified really fast when all 5 are out. Is that, like I said, like I was like, wait, was that it? Is that it? No, you're not ending like this. No. And one day, I like the cliffhanger and everything. It's just like if the episode does feel short, which again comes to the part of like where I agree with you. It's just like release all the fuckers. Just release them all.
Oh yeah,
just do what you did with Life is Strange: True Colors and release them all, and just let people play how they want to, how fast they want to get through it and everything. That is a bit irritating. Do not deny that and everything. But Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. Like I say, it just felt like I was just putting on a nice, warm, cozy coat that I haven't worn for a while.
It's been a
But
minute.
it just felt so
you know.
familiar.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's been a
Shit!
minute.
There's a receipt in the pocket from like 3 months ago. That's weird.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and this is what it was. The Expanse. Like I love the Expanse. I love the show, and I love just going back. I was a stooge when it came to the Telltale games. I loved the Telltale games for the most part. I loved like the Walking Dead ones. I loved the Wolf Among Us. I love the Tales of the Borderlands. I thought that was great. And I thought they did okay with the Game of Thrones one. I thought that could have gone somewhere
like
really canny, but it just didn't, sadly.
Game.
I never clicked with the Batman ones.
I like the Batman one.
I heard they were good. I was just like, I had no interest in it.
I've never played the second series, but I did play the first series. Specifically because someone said to me about Batman Series 1, because I got a review code for it, but like someone else reviewed it, so I didn't actually play it when it came out, and someone else was like really annoyed as a Batman fan that they were messing with Bruce Wayne's like origin story, and it's like so different from it, and that actually convinced me to play it. It was like this person was so annoyed that they'd like messed around with like the Batman origin story and stuff, and I was like, that sounds great, because I've seen the same I've seen the same variation of Batman like 20 times, and I played it and I was like, yeah, this is really actually like quite good and quite different. And then that made watching Matt Reeves's Batman film quite weird, because I think they used similar plot points in certain aspects from the Telltale game in Matt Reeves's film, which I thought was really funny when I was watching the film. Because I just remembered that friend who was just like mad at Telltale about doing what the film was doing. But yeah, no.
He must have hated the Batman, though.
Probably, I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but yeah, that was mine. Batman Telltale fangirl section. I haven't played many Telltale games, actually. I used to play the old ones like Zenimax. I played all the Zenimax games. They were good. But
yeah, I never played them. The thing that got me to Telltale, what I was, I think, what got everyone was the Walking Dead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, for real. But yeah, the Zenimax ones were like pure like hardcore old school adventure style point and clicks. They weren't like more the Walking Dead was more narrative driven, whereas Zenimax was definitely like, oh shit, I'm stuck, time to go and rub my items on everything interactable in the world until I figure out what I'm supposed to do. Kind of point and click game. But yeah, no, like it's good that you enjoyed this. Like it makes me want to play it. Like you enjoying it, because we both enjoyed The Expanse for pretty similar reasons. That's why I've picked the book up. Like I bought the first book in the Expanse series. Literally says #1, The Expanse, on the side. One, because ever since I started watching the show, I want to read the books, and two, I want to know the fucking ending. Thanks very much, Amazon. Gonna have to fucking read the books. That's cool. Do you have any like final Expanse Telltale series episode 1 thoughts?
No. Like apart from being short.
How long was it?
I think it was like 2 hours.
Okay, I mean that's pretty on par for a Telltale episode.
I just felt it just felt like it just went.
Did it
by really?
Yeah,
fast.
I was going to say, did it feel short, or did it feel? Was it just so like engrossing that it felt like it just went by like that?
Yeah, I was really engrossed in it, and I was just like, yes. No, no.
Yeah,
it just annoyed me. But
that's good. Like I haven't felt that at a Telltale game since The Walking Dead, like season 1. Like you get to the end of an episode and you go, "Fuck."
That was me pretty much every episode of The Walking Dead.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And season 2, I enjoyed all of them. I still haven't played 4. I
really
need to get my. I need to get my finger.
We should set up a stream. You know how we played The Quarry?
Yes.
We We should play The Walking Dead final season like we play The Quarry. Because I've only played the first episode of the final season, and it was so long ago, I don't remember it.
So Amy, so how about this then? How about this? We do them all.
I'm down.
From beginning to the final season. I control. You tell me what to do.
No, I'm not falling for that. No, don't make me make all the choices in a fucking Walking Dead
all the
series.
choices,
All right,
Amy.
fine. You're not going to like them.
That's fine. I'll shout out this. The accessibility options are excellent.
Cool.
Excellent. You would love them.
Interesting.
They are excellent accessibility. They give you options of like how you can stretch how long the timer is, and then some of them. And when it comes to like major decisions, you can put up an accessibility option of like it'll come up with one saying this is this is a decision, you cannot change it after you press this yes. So in everything, so like I've put that on for myself because then I was like after one decision, I was like,
oh no,
do I actually want to do this?
I love accidentally ruining my life in video games. I think it's great. I make a decision and I'm just like, oh well, that was the wrong decision. Nothing I can do about it now though.
Like, I'm going to ruin my life.
Chop my hand off. Sounds like a great idea. Okay, so we're just over an hour in. So I've got some impressions to do. We'll save them for after the halftime because I really need to get some air in this room, and they won't be long. And again, it's only a game I played a few hours of, although ironically longer than you played the Expanse. So we'll do indie game of the week.
Fight me.
we'll do indie game of the week, and then we'll call it halftime. So this is the thing that we do every week, where we talk about a cool looking upcoming indie game that Amy has usually played the demo for, and why it's cool and why I want to play it. More of it, and I did that this week. I played a demo of a horror game because I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I did when I sat down to play this game, and I put the headphones on and I hit start, and it hits you with that horror atmosphere in the thing. I went, when was the last time I actually played a scary game? It was a while ago. And I don't count Resident Evil 4 and I don't count Dead Space because they're a remix and I'd already played them. Like their previous versions. So like Dead Space didn't really scare me that much because I'd already played Dead Space before. And I was like, well, I'm trying to cast my mind back to when the last time I played a game that scared me.
Cool.
But yeah, I immediately regretted the decision. It's good. It's called Luto. Which is a first-person psychological horror, etc., etc. It's a PT, it's a PT-inspired game. Full psychological horror. This was like a prologue chapter, so it's not actually, I don't think, part of the finished game. I think it was like a self-contained sort of, here's what the game's going to be like kind of thing. And there were a few things that really stuck out to me as being fucking awesome. Number one, this is going to sound really sarcastic, bedsheet physics. So all the physics in the game are cool. The ghosts or whatever that are in the game are under bedsheets. Like,
did you sing at them?
I didn't. I ran away screaming.
Screaming could be dubbed as a song.
I'll modulate it. Yeah. Like the graphics, the graphics and the detail and the environment in general is just like top notch. Like my PC managed it on minimum. The fans were quite loud. I'll definitely be getting the PS5 version of this game if I play it. But yeah, no, that was cool. The atmosphere was just awesomely like creepy, you know what I mean? You're exploring a house, but it's fucked up and it doesn't make any sense, so you're like off kilter. And then the atmosphere of in general is just like fucking terrifying. It's like I think only like 2 or 3 things actually happened in like the 40 minutes that I was playing this demo for, but like, you know, I was terrified creeped out the entire time. And then the third one is they do this really cool thing with the graphics where, like, you know how like shit horror games put a VHS filter over your first-person camera and it gives you a headache. Mm-hmm. So they didn't do that in this game. What they did instead was they just softened it. So like they just softened the graphics, and what it does is instead of giving me a headache, it just makes everything look a bit dreamlike. which works with like the questioning of reality of nature of the game. And it looked really cool. Like, and it's pretty creepy. Like,
I'm having a look at it now.
It's
awesome.
It's definitely like the best PT inspired horror game I've played, because I haven't enjoyed any of the PT inspired horror games I've played.
Because they're inspired by it and they didn't have the goat.
They didn't. Well, that's the thing. It's like I played Visage and I played a couple of other ones, and it's like you didn't get why this was scary. Luto seems to get why PT was scary.
We hope.
But that, again, just a demo, but it was a really good demo. It's coming soon to PlayStation platforms, Xbox platforms, and Steam. It's developed by Broken Bird Games, published by Broken Bird Games, and Selector Play. There's a link to the Steam page in the description of wherever you're listening to this podcast. Click it, hit wishlist on the game. Maybe even go check out the demo for yourself. It's a fun demo. And that's going to do it for Indie Game of the Week. Also, Luto is Spanish for mourn, as in morning. I learned that after I played it.
Nice.
Yeah. That's going to do it for Indie Game of the Week this week. Do the wish listy thing. It always helps the devs.
It does.
Should we do a little halftime break as a treat?
Yeah, let's do the.
Oh, should we do Mr. Caffeine style? Cool. So I played a video game. I played multiple video games last week. But I'll talk about one of them that I played the other day for a few hours. Like, it's called 20 Minutes Till Dawn, and I didn't write anything down because I wasn't planning on reviewing it. This is literally just like, I played a game for a few hours, and I don't think I'm going to play much more of it. Not because I dislike the game. I think the game's good, but just because I don't think I'm going to have the time to really go back to it. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to like leave, because like this game, plenty of games I've played this year that I haven't reviewed on the podcast because I just haven't had much to say. Whereas with this one, I was like, I want to just let people know it exists because it's a cool game and they might like it, and it's less than a $5 on Steam, but also just like I'm probably not going to play anymore, so I can't really do an in-depth review of it. I've only beaten the first level, but it's 20 Minutes Till Dawn. The easiest way to describe 20 Minutes Till Dawn is it's a bit like Vampire Survivors. It's run based, it's an action roguelike. The biggest difference between that and Vampire Survivors is you have direct control over the weapons that you use. So like you'll pick a shotgun and you actually aim and shoot the shotgun. And it's a fun game. It's actually quite fun. You have to survive 20 minutes running around, killing monsters, picking up the orbs that they drop, and then as you go through the run, every time you level up, you select an ability, a level up, a power up, some kind of thing to help you get more powerful. And the game is just designed to be fucking broken. Like, it's designed to make you, once you figure out how it works, it's designed to make you be overpowered. So, like, you'll start off and you've got a shotgun, it's got 2 bullets in it, and you go bang, bang, and then you reload it, and you go bang, bang, and then you reload it. And then by the end, you're fucking blasting 2 shotguns in 2 different directions that have like 10 bullets in them, and there's monsters everywhere exploding, and there's a dragon that's flying around blasting your enemies with fire. And every time you fire, it's like there's a lot of cool, like, combinations and synergies between the different powers. And it was a lot of fun. Like, that 3.5 hours I spent playing it was basically me just trying to beat the first level. And I did in 3.5 hours. I figured out it's a graphically lo-fi game. I figured out a way to spawn so many bullets out of my gun and have so many things happening on the screen at once that the game was a bit like, hang on a minute here. Chief, I don't know if I can sustain this frame rate. There's too many things happening on the screen at once. And I was like, that's fair. I made a lot of things appear on the screen all at once very quickly. But yeah, so you know, it's got that usual roguelike curve where you die, and then you can unlock runes and new characters and new weapons like permanently. And then when you go into the run, it's a bit like Hades. Like, if you haven't played Vampire Survivors, it's a bit like Hades, where it's like every time you level up, you choose one of 5 abilities that you can gain, and then you do that 20 or so times if you go all the way through the night. and it's fun. I definitely recommend it if that's your kind of bag. If anything I've said is your kind of thing. I'm probably not going to be able to play much more of it just because there are video games coming out that I really want to play that are huge. So I don't know if I'm getting back to it anytime soon. But I did want to drop Amy recommends this to a specific type of person who likes that kind of game. Bing.
Cool.
That was it.
It's now time for Moody's Time to Shine, apparently. Working title still.
It's not a working title.
It is.
It's a lie.
I will find something better.
The thing is, you got to convince me. You got to convince me that it's better than Moody's Time to Shine, and I really like Moody's Time to Shine. So good luck with that.
I do not.
If it genuinely makes you like uncomfortable or something, I would change it. Just so we're clear. Like if you genuinely hate it, I would change it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying the bit, but I'm not enjoying the bit that much.
Let's start with a story that I thought we've already talked about, but that's why I didn't bring it up last week as pick one of them, and that was PlayStation is to dedicate 60% of its R&D budget to live service games and AI. I'm pretty sure we've already spoken about this.
Well, there's one way to find out. We didn't do it last week because it wasn't checked.
I know that because I never picked it.
Did I just leave a story in by accident for 2 weeks in a row?
I think so. I'm pretty sure we've spoken about but I think it came out. I think we spoke about it because of the PlayStation, the Microsoft PlayStation lawsuit that was happening with the.
We did. Yes, it came out as part.
Yeah.
It's not a timestamp thing because it came out as part of a. Whoops.
Yeah.
Started playing a video on YouTube. I was tapping my phone, going yeah, and I hit play. You did. No, that's my bad. Yeah, it wasn't a dedicated thing. We talked about it as part of the lawsuit. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll skip. Check. Done.
Sweet. Just unticked it.
I know, we both clicked it at the same time.
Let's start with one that's close to, I think, both our hearts, and that is video games mental health charity Safe in Our World launches an interactive journal to help users track their mental health.
This looks cool. So it's called Sidekick, and it's been created specifically for people in the gaming community. And what they've said is it aims to be, quote, a physical resource for mental well-being, end quote. So it's 140 pages, which contains a variety of free journaling pages and, quote, games-themed activities and prompts designed to be a low-pressure way to get people thinking about their mental health, end quote. And then they had some statistics, so I'll just read. I'm going to read those out verbatim. With 1 in 5 players reporting that they feel uncomfortable or upset after playing, 1 in 7 feeling isolated or alone, and 1 in 10 left with depressive or suicidal thoughts in a 2021 survey, the journal hopes to provide resources and advice on how to manage your own well-being and offer a safe place to look after yourself and write what's on your mind. Sky Tunley Stainton, Partnerships and Training Manager at Safe in Our World, said, quote, gaming can be a positive outlet for so many individuals, but things like exposure to online harassment and harmful conduct in gaming spaces can also have a negative impact on people's mental health. By connecting people with the games they love, we hope Sidekick will feel like a familiar friend for folks in the games community who might be in need of the tools and information within to support their mental health, end quote. Sidekick is available to purchase now for £15 from Peregrine Coast Press. I need to look into this more. Like, I put this in the notes last week, and I meant to look into it, like see what it actually was all about.
Yeah.
But then obviously we didn't have a chance to talk about it last week, so I forgot.
At least you're honest.
Hey, it happens. But I'll have a look at it this week. Like, I actually have a cool self-care, not self-help. Like a self-care like app thing. It's a little bit, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it. And my light is glaring so bad you can't see it.
You can't really see it at all.
No, what the fuck?
See mountains?
Yeah, because you go to different places in the world. All right, is it hold it this way? Nope, it's just being shit. Thanks, shitty Logitech camera. But no, I like stuff like this where it's just like a game, like gamifying this kind of thing can really help help you keep it up, like doing like journaling and stuff like that. So Sidekick sounds like a really useful thing.
Yeah, anything that helps mental health, I'm always going to champion and everything. So, yeah, that sounds great. I'll definitely have a look at it more, just like you said and everything. And yeah, I just found out about it until today, so that's amazing. So
Yeah,
great, go and check it out, people.
yeah. I feel like I saw it on Blue Sky today. Like I think I saw like I think I saw one of the people who's like a part of it. Like saw their account. And it was cool because I sometimes leave stories in that we don't talk about, and I left this one in purposely because I figured we would hit it. But yeah, definitely go check it out. It's called Sidekick, and it's from the charity Safe in Our World. Those are your keywords.
Let's go to a game embargo. That is Baldur Gate 3. Review embargo is apparently it's absurd, Amy. Tell us
Pretty
why.
absurd. It's another like, oh, I accidentally like ran into some information on the internet today, and that information was the Baldur's Gate 3 review embargo. Not necessarily the embargo date, which I believe is the next Thursday. Excuse me, but when the reviewers haven't, like, at the time of me and you recording this podcast, the reviewers who are reviewing Baldur's Gate 3 don't have Baldur's Gate 3. Like, this huge, massive, I'm guessing 50 to 100 hour game that they've got to try and figure out how to review in 6 days because they're getting their review codes on Friday.
Basically, it's probably 4 or 5 days because you've got to take into account the date of writing the article.
Yeah, because you don't
and
just
then doing the video,
editing the footage and the video and sorting through the footage that you've captured because you capture your own footage.
So theoretically, it might only be 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, 3 or 4
of playing the game.
Between 3 and 6 days, depending on how you review games at your particular outlet or channel. Yeah, and like I was reading about the game's story, which was really fascinating because the approach to the choice based like stuff in the game isn't like what's that David Cage game about the robots? Detroit Become Human. Yeah, like at the end of every level you could see like the flow chart at the end.
Yeah.
And they've approached it more like a spider web, where it's like you start on the outside and you work your way in. And you're all like, so the story's going to the same place, but you take a different path than somebody else, like getting to it. So like it has a lot of minor variations to it. And I was like, wow, that sounds really awesome. And then I found out the reviewers still haven't got it yet. And I was like, how the fuck are you going to review this? Like, that's mental. That's absurd. That's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Yes, I don't disagree with what you're saying there, but I think because this is an early access game where it's a giant already game that they've got hundreds of people playing this, probably even hundreds of thousands of people playing this game. We're going off from what Steam thing says and everything. They don't give a fuck.
It's like
in the nicest way possible.
I know the studios
don't give a fuck.
But like the bosses at the outlets and stuff are gonna give a fuck, and it's like we need to get the clicks for the SEO or whatever the fuck they say in meetings, and it's like, man, some poor fucks out there are gonna have to no life this game and get a review ready like on time, and it's like. And I wrote a little note at the bottom where it's like, is there any wonder game reviews are in the state that they're in when this is the crack? It's just like, oh man, 6 days to play Baldur's Gate 3. Like I put myself in those shoes where it's like, what if I had 6 days to play Baldur's Gate 3? Like, even if I was on holiday, that wouldn't
be possible.
I don't think that would be possible.
Yeah, it's like, I have two thoughts of this at the end of the day for me. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the critics and everything. So, but when it comes to overworking and everything like that, I will never never support that. Obviously, I'll always say take your time and everything like that. But sadly, it's the what is it? The structure, the society of the video game news agency reviewers sites that it is that their thing is the review embargo drops at this date on this time. We have to get this game review done and played and blah 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 and written, edited, video, the whole shebang done by this time, and it has to be ready by this time on this time. It's one of those things of that, sadly, of society that clicks drive them to have to force people to do this. And that sucks. There's no doubt about that. I would never want anyone to overwork. I never overwork. Like, come in and do my job, and if I'm feeling like exhausted or anything like that, then if I speak to my boss about this and literally say that, and I say, is there anything we can do, blah blah blah. But thankfully, I haven't had to. I haven't and whatnot. But it's I think it's a wider talk, a bigger talk than just this one itself. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
It's just the industry. It's the industry itself that like the one thing YouTubers have proven that if you have a platform, you can literally pass the embargo and still get the views and clicks that you need and everything for it. People have done that, like, and whatnot.
If you've got the audience, like if
audience, there's not about it.
If Skillup misses an embargo, no one's going to give a shit because he's Skillup. He's got the subs already. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I've been in this position, like,
yeah, you have
in my life, like tons of times. Like, I get why, like, you know, a YouTube channel or a review outlet or whatever will push to try and get their review out before embargo, because like if you wait a few days and you're not someone like Skillup who has, like, people go to Skillup specifically for Skillup's review, not just necessarily a review. When I was reviewing games on not just here, other channels, if you waited a few days, fucking pointless. There's not even a point in hitting publish on the review. No one's gonna click it. You're done. Like, and like by that same content, like flip that over where it's like some of the best performing videos on this channel certainly, and also other channels that I've worked on to this day, I think, are reviews that I got out in time for embargoes. Because when people want to see as soon as those reviews drop, people want to see those reviews and they come to your reviews. And yeah, like, you can pop off in that way. And it's just, and again, I've been in this situation before as well, where it's like, you've given me a code for a huge game and I've got like 3 days to play it. Awesome. And I've got people in my ear being like, hey, we need to get this review done. And I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can. Like, and yeah, like, I've been on that side of the barrel, and it just sucks. And yeah, we do need to have a conversation about it. I think that's why it touched a nerve.
Yeah, it's not about, like, I have no context for it because I've never been on that side of the barrel whatsoever.
Oh yeah,
like, and go on, sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about my experiences as well. Like, I don't want to like go too in depth with it because obviously it's about other people as well. But like, yeah, it's like you can have like a massive game drop, which is like 50 hours of play to see enough to actually do a review of the game. And then it's like, okay, you've got, like, it comes through, because I'm talking about a game I got a disc for. It's like, comes through the letterbox. It's like, cool, I've got 5 days. And like you said, that's not even just to play the game. It's like, I gotta have the video finished and uploaded and ready to go at 5 p.m. on whatever day it is. And it's like, it's pressure, and it's not just pressure on me. Like, when it was just my channel, like, I always tried to hit embargo on Words About Games when I was a reviewer, but I was never that bothered about actually hitting it. Like, and I did push it a couple of times where I was close, so I just went that little bit extra to make sure I hit the embargo. But like, if I was way off, I was way off. That's what happened. But like, when it was other people's channels, it was other people's channels, so it wasn't just me letting myself down. It was like, I'm letting other people down here.
No doubt about it. For me personally, I've never followed the construct of I have to be part of the conversation type of thing. I don't care type of thing. That's just the me thing and everything. But yeah, it's like, but I think more the thing it's gonna be fascinating how worse this possibly gets in the future, because you can only imagine we're gonna get more and more games going to come out more and more and more eventually, and reviews are going to be coming. People are going to be expecting the reviews and whatnot. How fast can you get them out? How long does it go? How long does it take to these reviewers to play the game? But because they've played so much and they're so tired, they use chat AI to get the right review for them. But that's another conversation. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's where this is going to go to. This is eventually people are going to get so exhausted because they're getting run into the ground to do this type of thing. That's the one thing I'll give fair play to. Even though I bitched about them last week, that was kind of funny. To part of like they do not force their staff to get the game finished. Like many times when they're reviewing a game, they literally say, "I've played 10 hours of this game," or whatever, And I'm thinking that's good, that's refreshing. And it's like they can only do so much because they've obviously doing so much and everything like that. Obviously, not talking about important issues about video games, industry people, do they? But either way, yeah, that's always a good thing to see that type of thing. But I think overall, a larger conversation is going to happen further down the line here.
Yeah. So I'm just holding two thoughts in my head from something you said earlier, which is the number one thing. It was when you were talking about being a part of the conversation. The number one thing is like, again, when it's I don't do this for money. Like I don't need to. I have a job that pays me money that I use to live. So that's fine. Like I can do whatever. Like I'm not going to do a Baldur's Gate 3 review next week. I don't even know if I'm going to do one next month. Like I've already said that my Tears of the Kingdom review is literally in December.
Yeah.
But like when it's working with other people whose income does rely on their channel, it is that thing of like I want to get this out so that it gets the clicks, so that maybe like a couple more people subscribe to the Patreon, or he gets more ad revenue and stuff. We get more ad revenue and stuff like that. But the thing that was really funny was when you said like, oh, being a part of the conversation. So since I disconnected myself from that world, that cycle, it's like by the time the conversation starts, right? Like say with Baldur's Gate 3, like let's say I'm reviewing it. I've got a code. I don't do that anymore. But like the conversation for that game starts on Friday when the game comes out. I'm already at the end of that conversation. It's really unsatisfying to watch social media like Twitter or whatever, like start talking about their experiences of going through this game, because the conversation lasts for a while, right? It's like, oh, everybody started and now everybody's doing this and there's like I've already skipped to the end. And like what I found more fun about talking about games like online, like on social media, is actually getting to be a part of that conversation. When I was playing Dead Island 2, I was playing it at the same time as a bunch of other people because I was playing it when it came out. Like same with Octopath Traveler 2. I think I even talked about it when I reviewed it. It was like I was playing it at the same time as other people were playing it, so I was seeing all these cool posts about it and interacting with people about it. Whereas like you don't get that when you're a reviewer, because you are the start of the conversation. I guess you've already finished the game by the time the conversation starts. But the other thing I've noticed as well is like, sure, not as many people are talking about Zelda now as they were when it first came out. But like if you want to start a conversation on social media about a video game that you're playing and enjoying, there's people out there who will have that conversation with you. and like the conversation never actually goes away. So I've always found that whole thing about the conversation as absurd as you, I guess, but only like after like having gone through several different like cycles of like being at different points of it, where it's just like, actually it is a bit dumb. Like if I start talking about, I don't want to say like Octopath Traveler 2 on Blue Sky, I'm sure I'd find other people to talk about Octopath Traveler 2 with.
Yeah. That's true. It's not about like it's just like, yeah,
Sorry, that was a whole other thing. It's just when you talked about the conversation, I was like, you're right. And I want to go in depth as to why you're right.
Like, I know that for me, it's just like, if I want to talk about something, I'll talk about it.
I make videos about old ass fucking video games, man.
Yeah, you do.
I'm the poster girl for being late to the conversation. But yes, the review embargo sucks, and it's a larger conversation I think we need to have at some point.
Hopefully, let's just be fair. Hopefully, whoever's going to review it, it's already actually been in the early access thing. I've been playing it for years, or however long it's been going, and they've already written up the review and they're ready to go.
This game is so old, and the turnover is so high in video game sites. Some of the people who are reviewing Baldur's Gate 3 this week probably weren't even video game reviewers when the game came out in early access.
That's funny. Let's go along with it. With a massive. Speaking of massive ass big ass games, Star Wars Outlaws won't be a 300-hour unfinishable epic. So that means it's a 200-hour, right?
It's 299 hours. No, this was actually a nice, interesting, refreshing thing that I saw on Eurogamer today. Which is so Star Wars Outlaws creative director, excuse me, Julian Garrity was talking to IGN in an interview, and someone asked him, like, they were talking about games that are too big, and someone asked him, what does too big mean to you? Because his response would probably be quite illuminating, considering he's the creative director of Star Wars Outlaws. And his response was, quote, too big is a game that people don't manage to play, enjoy, and finish. And our objective is to really get people into a very dense, rich adventure, open world adventure that they can rhythm the way that they want. I don't think that word was supposed to be rhythm, but I copy pasted it. So it's absolutely not a 200 or 300-hour epic unfinishable RPG. This is a very focused action adventure RPG that will take people on a ride and is very manageable. The open world experience means that you need a core amount of playable surface with grass and distractions and characters and cantinas, and so there won't necessarily be one-off exotic missions outside of the core areas that we're creating. And like, I just looked at that after seeing fucking headline after headline for like the last couple of years. Our game's 500 hours long. Our game's 400 hours long. And just went, you sold me this game.
Like, I've been begging for a focused ass linear Star Wars game. I was hoping that was going to be in the last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
The last Star Wars
Fallen
game.
Order Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah, Survivor.
Awakens.
We didn't get that. I didn't get that personally. I know you enjoyed that game more than I did.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, no, like, well, I mean, you go back and obviously when we reviewed it, even I had a lot of problems with, like, how unfocused that game was.
Yeah, and it was so unbroken at the same time.
It was broken. Like, I didn't get a lot of bugs from the first one, so, like, I wasn't part of that discourse, but with Survivor, I mean, you saw what happened to me.
I'm now going to decapitate your head.
The force is strong with this one.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I like it. This makes me optimistic for it, you know? Like the trailer didn't really blow me away when we saw it in June and everything, but I'm looking forward. Like, if it is just a linear, simple ass story that is just there, that is fantastic. Like, apparently the next Assassin's Creed thing, Mirage, it's very linear. Apparently,
yeah.
It's more focused than the big open ass world games they've been plowing out all the time of the last few years. So if that is true, that's great. Give me a good 10-20 hour linear game. I am all up that. If it's fucking under 15 hours, but if it's 10 hours, oh my god, I am all over that fucking game.
You're like Viewfinder. But yeah, no, like, I read this and I just, like, I think it was right. I don't know if it was right underneath, but it was very close to another news story about Remnant 2, which came out last week, where someone who was working on Remnant 2, and the quote in the headline was, players have played for 400 plus hours and not found everything in our game. And I'm just like, man. Like, that's cool for people who really love Remnant 2 and want to play for more than 400 hours. I don't think I've ever played a single video game for more than 400 hours in my life. And I just don't want that. Like, if you want that kind of thing, if you want the big open worlds that are like hundreds of hours long, fair play. Go for it. Is it literally right next to it?
What?
I don't know. But yeah, like, if you want that, you go for it. But for me, I'm just like...
This is what you were saying. So I don't think I've ever played a game for like 400 hours.
In my life. I don't think I have.
I've literally just went on my Steam page and went...
You've played Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm almost at 300 hours on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Well, that's fair. But you like playing those games, right? Like, you know, like... And I'm just, like I said, if you want to do that, that's fair. Like, I think the most I've got in terms of tracked time, because obviously, like, PS1s didn't track time, like, N64s didn't track time, I think is Overwatch, which was like 250 hours, I think.
Like Among Us, you'll be over 100 hours.
Oh, yeah, like, Faz is my most played, but Faz is my most played game on Steam.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like 100 and something hours. Like,
I just think it's I was just looking and thinking, how long have I got? Oh my god! And I don't think it's updated because I played like an hour and a half before we hopped on.
While I continue to make my point, are you friends with Russ Loxtail on Steam? Because if you are, click on his profile, see how long he's played Kerbal Space Program. But yeah, no, the like I don't think it's going to be a fully linear, like, Uncharted style game. Like, I think it's going to have open hubs, like Dead Island 2 did. Like, open hubs that you can explore a little bit, and there's like a couple of side things to do within those hubs. But I don't think it's going to be this huge, expansive thing that Jedi Survivor was, and that's fucking great. I love the sound of that. Like, I went from, I don't really give a shit about this game, to, I'm going to keep my eye on this game. In the space of one interview, because I was just like, you get it. Like, for me personally, like, I was looking through the calendar and trying to figure out what my, like, day one plays were. So, like, the games that I want to play on day one for the rest of the year. And I got to the part where I was like, Spider-Man 2, and I literally, like, I don't know if I've audibly, like, physically sighed at the prospect. Because I'm like, I'm sure I'm going to love Spider-Man 2. I'm sure it's going to be a fun game. That's going to have a great story. But man, like, it's going to be a bigger New York City, and it's going to be more swinging and more side stuff. And I was just like, I just thought about that. And I was just like, oh, God.
Spider-Man 2
Not knocking Spider-Man 2. Not knocking Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2, well, no, but I think it's a bigger thing. Like, Spider-Man 2 is going to be an interesting one because I think what helped me play Spider-Man 2 because I was Spider-Man. I was web singling.
Sure.
The web singling was such a great mechanic in that game. It was,
yes.
And I think it was like just as good as in
Miles
Morales. And so I think that's going to help with it. The one what's probably potentially going to be the biggest pain in the ass, at least for me, play Starfield.
I mean, I have no plans to play that. And one of the reasons, and we've talked about this on this podcast, one of the reasons I have no plans to play it was because of there's 1,000 planets in this game comment from E3 last year. And I was just like, I'm out. That's it. Tap me out.
I'm out.
I'm done. Like, it's just like, I don't mind.
Completely understandable.
I don't mind long games. Like, Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. That game's 100 hours. And you know, I want to play Persona 5 Royal, which is another 100 hours. But it's just like, I'm at no point am I wondering, like, a vast open world full of very little to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can play a game for 100 hours if it's tight, focused experience. Yeah. I'm just really starting to lose my patience with the big, like the guy says in the interview, the 200 to 300 hour epic unfinishable RPG. It's just like, it's not my life, man. Fair play to whoever it is, but I have yet to meet a game that is a game world that is compelling enough to drive me to explore it for 300 hours.
That's fair.
I wouldn't even, if Bloodborne was a 300-hour RPG, I would not have done that. And that's Bloodborne.
True. How long have we got left?
We've got a bit. Depending, one long one or two short ones, I would say.
Dolphin Emulator abandons Steam release plans after Nintendo's legal threat.
It's in the cable's gone in the water.
Interesting. You're just trying to electrocute yourself, eh?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. There's no frayed edges. Dolphin, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, the Dolphin Emulator. So the page has been removed from Steam after Valve received a takedown request from Nintendo. The team behind the Dolphin Emulator wrote a very lengthy blog post. I urge you to go read the full thing. I've pulled a bit of a quote out which says, quote, Valve told us that we had to come to an agreement with Nintendo in order to release on Steam, but given Nintendo's long-held stance on emulation, we find Valve's requirement for us to get approval from Nintendo for a Steam release to be impossible. Unfortunately, that's that, end quote. And yeah, that is
But I told you this was going to happen.
I mean, we both agreed. We were just like, it's never going to fucking
not gonna
fly
happen.
on Steam. It's like, yes, emulators are legal. Like, that is a fact, but Nintendo's never going to allow a Nintendo emulator on the biggest PC storefront in the world.
Unless they're the ones controlling it. And that's
which they don't want to do for some reason.
Yeah. You know, and it's just like, yeah, this was always going to happen. It's to the people who were excited for this, it sucks. I'm sorry for you and everything, but Nintendo were never going to allow this.
It does suck. Absolutely. But the Dolphin emulator still exists. You can still use it. You just can't use it on Steam.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Otherwise, I'll be getting a takedown notification from Nintendo. No, yeah, it's a shame, but, you know, Nintendo got a Nintendo. I wish they would. I wish they would just fucking have a proper Nintendo first-party fucking emulator with a Nintendo store on it where you could just buy whatever old Nintendo games you wanted. I feel like they would make fucking tons of money. And that's just off me.
Yeah, they wouldn't be the second anymore. They would be first. I think that's fair to say. That'll be a guarantee. Like I've been saying on many occasions, like I'm waiting until they come out and literally say all the old Pokemon games are on the Nintendo online. I'm waiting for all that, and I know I'm buying every single fucking one of them because I'm a schmuck.
Lifetime. How much is a lifetime subscription in Nintendo Switch Online?
Here's my blood. Just take it. Here's my organs. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the thing I talked to you about when I was talking about which Pokemon game I decided to stream. It was like the two that were recommended to me the most, unplayable. Like, I can't play them. So I had to go with Violet just because I couldn't get the two that most people were saying, these are the best ones to start with. I was like, that's cool and all, and I can play them, but not on a stream that Nintendo can see. I mean, I would never do that, Nintendo. Ever.
No, but yeah, like they would. It is bonkers that they would make so much money and yet they don't do this. Is it too much work? Is it like I don't know. Like I don't know the.
I don't know how much work it is
Yeah.
because the Switch online store, from what I understand, having like with what I've read about it, like is an emulator. Like that's how the Switch online games from like different consoles works. So like the emulator part of it is already done. But again, it's like people make this work for free on the internet, right? And like I'm not condoning that, Moody. That's why I'm talking very quietly. But like if Nintendo hired a couple of these people to make things like Pokemon go on Switch, like I think they'd probably make their money back and then some.
True. Sea of Stars is just launching day one on PS Plus.
Yeah, what the fuck? So Sea of Stars is coming out on August 29th. It's coming to Switch and PC. It's coming to Xbox, day one on Game Pass. And now it's coming to PS5 and 4? Maybe? Day one on PS Plus. Extra and premium tiers. So, like, it's launching in both subscription services.
Yeah, PlayStation finally fucking seen stuff. That hopefully that is a good sign of what you were saying when you played the demo. It's just like this is a game we must have our console straight away, day one, and we'll be able to get as many people on it as fast as possible. How much money do you want, Sea of Star developers?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, I'm fascinated to know what the deal is. Like, that they've struck with both of them to forego the sales to have it on Game Pass and PS Plus. Because the studio's not unknown. Like, you know, The Messenger was a relatively big hit for an indie game. Back in 2020, I think, or 2019. So, like, you know, Sea of Stars isn't like an unknown indie. It's like, people know about this game, and I couldn't, like, when I was reading it, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I had to double check. I was like, wait, am I misremembering it? It is coming to Game Pass, and yeah, it is. It's just like, what the fuck?
Ultimately, they probably both deals, like, but the Xbox deal probably would have been like, cover our costs.
Yeah,
cover our costs. So we basically have already broken even instantly. Well, basically, when it's obviously launches and whatnot, and it's probably like the same thing with PS5, because they wouldn't have had to tell PlayStation, oh, what does blah 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 blah. PlayStation obviously know they've got it on Game Pass, but they obviously won't have known how much. So it's probably just the same type of thing. So cover our costs. So
cover our development costs.
Basically, yeah. That's what, and then it's just all gravy for them and whatnot. So it's like, this is fantastic. And not like, again, hopefully this is like a good sign of like, when especially when PlayStation backs something, a lot of people start paying a little bit more attention to it. No offense to if it goes into Game Pass. It shouldn't be like that way, personally, because Game Pass is obviously the far superior thing compared to PS Plus.
It is,
but it gone.
But PlayStation just has that higher install base, so I think that's where you get that bigger noticeability from.
Yeah, they're the bigger brand. There's no doubt. In video game terms, they are the bigger brand. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, like let's hope this is the next Rocket League in popularity type thing, and it gets a ton of freaking players and money and all that for it.
Well, I always assumed Sea of Stars, looking at the type of game it is, because it's like a throwback tactical RPG. I always just assumed it was going to do best on Switch, because I feel like most people want to take this thing portable. So, like, you'll get a lot of people buying it on Steam so they can play it on their Steam Deck, and you'll get a lot of people buying it on Switch. Like, I never assumed PlayStation and Xbox would be like, even I heard that. What was that?
No. You keep talking.
Well, I mean, I'm done. Well, like, but yeah, that was unsettling. I'll just edit it. I'm just going to edit it where I say, what was that? I was really at the end of my sentence pretty much. Yeah, like, I always thought that the Switch and the PC ports were probably going to be the best sellers out of them, like the 4 anyway, or like the most popularity. So this is just cool. I just had that WTF moment when I saw the headline. I was like, huh?
like I'm preferring playing on my PlayStation of late right now. So this just gives me like I'm just like, I'm gonna get a month of this on PlayStation Plus, and then I'm just gonna buy it and play it on PlayStation. I
have always preferred. I don't know why. Probably the controller. But like, I do prefer playing on my PS5. Unless
PlayStation don't have the same thing Microsoft have. Fucking twats.
Yeah, unless I want to play the part with the paddles on the Elite controller.
And you have 2 of them now.
Yep. But like Sea of Stars was like, I have a choice. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I could play it on my PC. I could play it on my Xbox. I could play it on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
I could play it 3 times. Just
you could.
One on each, and I could do one of those reviews where people are like, I'm comparing the different releases. We definitely have time for a short one. If there's something on here that you definitely want to talk about, we can do a short one.
God. I don't think any of them are really short, apart from the bloody Microsoft one, which I have no interest in talking about whatsoever.
I think the Historian one's pretty short.
Okay, the video game historian finds $10,000 arcade cabinet on the street.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Video game historian Tim Lapatino found a fully working discs of Tron cabinets sitting on a curbside waiting to be picked up and scrapped. He told the arcade blogger, quote, "I was visiting my family in the Chicago suburbs recently when my niece mentioned she saw some Tron thing sitting on a curb while she was riding her bike through the neighborhood."
How old did she make him feel?
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of this cabinet. It's fucking huge as well. Of course, we jumped in the car to go take a look as it was just blocks away from where my parents and other family live. As we drove up to the spot, I uttered, now it's censored, so I'm going to assume the swear that's underneath. "What the fuck?" Forgetting that my niece was in the car with us. And would you believe it? There it was. An E-dot was sitting on the curb. End quote. So yeah, Discs of Tron, it was released in 1983 by Midway. It was released in a special environmental cabinet, which allowed players to stand inside it for immersion. So if you imagine like an arcade cabinet that also like has the full fucking thing all around. Due to its size and the small number of cabinets produced, Discs of Tron is one of the rarest arcade machines in the world. The owner of the cabinet had dragged it to the end of their driveway, hoping it would be picked up as garbage, but it was too large to be taken away. And too heavy, apparently.
Fucking God.
Wow. Like, what the fuck?
Person didn't realize this. I could have just sold this for 10 grand and got an easy 10 grand.
Yeah. Like, if you'd have Googled it, right? Like, oh, is this worth anything? Like, why do they have it in their house? It's not a small arcade cabinet. But, like, yeah, if you Googled it, you would have realized, like, there's an easy 10 grand to be made here. Especially considering the guy who might have bought it lives a few blocks away. Or his parents live a few blocks away. And this guy's just... This niece was riding a bike around the neighborhood, saw it, told her uncle... And then they got this cabinet for free. And it works, Miri. It works. Like, fully. It's in full working order.
That's awesome.
I'm amazed. Like, at this entire story. Imagine being that person, though. Like, who's just tried to jump the cabinet.
He's gonna eventually look on Google and it was like, doodaloo, what the fuck?
Oh, that's weird.
10 grand.
I tried to get rid of one of those. That's weird. Reads the story. Oh, fuck. And it's like, yeah, oh, fuck. Like, man.
Oh, fuck indeed.
Oh, fuck indeed. Like, did you just not think? Like, if I had any arcade cabinet and I was trying to get rid of it, I'm pretty reasonably assured that someone somewhere would buy it. Like, and even if I couldn't get someone to buy it, like, a video game history museum would definitely take it off my hands. You know, like there's definitely ways to get to shift this cabinet better than dragging it to my fucking curb.
Definitely.
Oh dear God. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do this.
What's happening next week? What is happening next week? More Pokemon streams. I don't think I'm going to finish that game anytime soon. My stream that's happening this week, this Friday. I'm standing right outside one of the Starfall bases. I'm planning on knuckling down, and I'm planning on making progress. I've got a team I'm happy with. My team composition. I've gone via nothing but vibes. I have no information as to whether any of these Pokemon.
You sent me a picture of your team, haven't you?
Yeah, I have no idea whether any of these Pokemon are any good or not. I'm going with it because I like them.
Would you like me to critique them?
You know what? Feature Amy. New chapter, new timestamp. Moody critiques Amy's Pokemon Violet team. The first Pokemon team she's ever built. Just remember.
So this one here that I have a picture of, these are the Pokemon you're
those
going with,
are the that was the end of the stream. So that's the 6 Pokemon, and I'm like, I'm gonna level these up, and I'm gonna do the things with them, and I'm sure they're gonna evolve and stuff. But right now, obviously, like that's who I've got.
Eevee. It depends on what you want to get Eevee as. I'm guessing you're going to want to try and get Eevee as Sylveon, or are you intending to keep Eevee as Eevee?
Well, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Eevee. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know any of the specifics around evolving them. Nor do I wish to know. I want to see what happens. I'm in this for the randomness of it.
Okay, I will not say a single thing.
I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah. Luto is the female version. Okay, so that's cool. So you're going to get an interesting looking one there.
Okay, cool.
Because there's a male version, obviously, and that has a different look to its evolved form.
Took me fucking ages. I was just looking around for anything that had fire. Took me ages.
So you got water.
Yeah,
fire.
that's my main. Quaxwell.
Yeah, Quaxwell, yeah. Quaxwell, I think, is dubbed like the second best out of the 3 new starters. I think the fire one's dubbed the more better one.
He's pretty powerful, but because I've been running around trying to catch Pokemon, I've overleveled. Like, Pokemon that have been in my party for a while are a bit overleveled for the stuff that I'm taking on. Like Quaxwell, definitely, because I don't think he's left my party.
And Quaxwell will evolve soon. Curly will evolve to its next form.
Curly is a badass. I like Curly.
Ghastly will evolve soon, but you won't be able to get Ghastly's a fully evolved form because you'll have to trade to then get traded back.
Okay. Well, Ghastly was the last
ones.
one I just picked up. Like, I have a Ghastly.
I can help you though with that because I have the game. I can help you if you want to just send it our. Yeah.
And the other one is Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo.
It's fun.
That's an interesting one. That
drops rocks on
I
people.
always knew you were gonna go Ralts. I knew you were gonna catch a Ralts and try and get Gardevoir and everything.
I remembered that much from that stream you did.
Yeah.
But like I kept them in my team because it turns out like they're just really like
powerful.
Good. Yeah, they're really good.
When you get them to Gardevoir, he's a good balance of like he can cover a lot of things that you might be weak to. On your team. So
I've been trying to sort of balance things out a bit as well. That's why I spent ages getting that fire one. Because I was like completely lacking in fire, and I was like, I'm pretty sure grass is weak to fire. Like, and my reasoning was, if I went outside with some matches,
you went to Greece right now.
Like, if I went outside with some matches and the grass was dry, I'm pretty sure I could set it on fire. So,
yeah.
I don't know how well served I'm going to be applying real world logic to Pokemon types, but it seems to be working out for me so far.
It's an interesting team. There's no doubt about it. I try and balance it off for these 4 elements, which is obviously fire, water, grass, and electricity. Well, that's what I try and balance it off. And then my other 2 is just like probably a psychic or ghost.
A lot of them
or fighting, because fighting's pretty decent. But you've got a fighting one in Quagwell. So
yeah, Quaxwell's got some really good fighting moves. Because like I think a lot of, if not most, if not all of the Pokemon have like multiple like types of moves, which is where I'm sort of balancing myself out a bit. I had Pikachu. Did I take Pikachu out? Because I was
on the picture.
Okay, I must have replaced Pikachu with Ghastly at the end.
With Ghastly and Curlier, you've got a potentially powerful team there, just from those 2 alone. And you throw in Quackwell, that's like it's a 1-2 punch if you get them all 3 of them fully evolved. If you get a Gengar, a Gardevoir, and whatever Quackwell's final form is called, I can't remember what it is.
I realized. You've got
a potent team there.
Yeah, so I realized that last stream that I need to focus on 6 Pokemon if I want to finish this game before 2025.
You took out 22, just 24.
I'll be playing it all the way through next year. Like that was where I was like getting the slow progress from. Was like every 20 seconds I was stopping, going, "Oh, a Pokemon! Oh, another one!" And like, and then it would be like I said like 2 hours earlier. It's like I'm gonna go and fight the grass gym, and then I would be gone for like 2.5 hours. And I'd be like, "What was I doing again?" So like I was like, right. I found the Eevee icon on the map. There was a single Eevee in a field of like 50 Pokemon. Took me ages to find. And then I was so overleveled, I was like, how do I catch this Eevee without knocking out in one hit?
Killing it, yeah.
So I managed that, and then I did the same with Ghastly, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm done. This is a solid team. Like, Ghastly and Eevee are Pokemon I loved from before I even played Pokemon. Quaxwell and I have a special connection. And then Kirlia and Sudowoodo or just like I've formed an emotional attachment with them because of the adventures that we've been on, because I've had them for ages.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're not going anywhere because we've bonded in the trenches of Pokemon War. We've bonded.
Yeah. The only balance that, like, you've got a good, like, Curly is a good special attacker. Ghastly, when fully evolved to Gengar, is going to be a good special attacker. Quaxly's going to be a good physical attacker. Luto, I think, is going to be like pretty much the same, a good physical attacker. Wudo, it's like I think could be a bit of both. I think, and Eevee is whatever direction you go with that one. So
yeah, I'm interested to find.
yeah.
I know some of them you have to have like a specific like stone. I know that much, but I don't know which ones. But I've only found like one stone that I think is for an evolution, and I don't think it's for an Eevee. But I don't know. Like, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, unless the bridge crosses itself.
Yeah, Eevee, depending on like some it's can evolve because of its friendship, and depending on the
yeah,
time
I was gonna
of
say,
year.
hold on, let me just cover Sylveon's ears anymore. Like, I just need to cover Sylveon's ears for a second. Like, I don't know if a Sylveon is the best evolution for Eevee because I've got Curlier.
No, if you get Sylveon, you'd be pretty much OP.
Oh, really? Okay,
With Curlier, with a Gardevoir, a Ghastly, and a Sylveon and a Quackwell. If you give them good combinations, like not all having the same moves, like good types.
I've been doing that.
Yeah, you'll.
Have I just accidentally created like a meta Pokemon team?
Meh, I can't answer that.
Okay,
because I'm not the meta person.
For someone who like until like 4 weeks ago, all they knew about Pokemon was that Pokemon looks awesome. I want it on a T-shirt. Like, not bad. This is sounding like I've done a good job.
I think you've done an all right job. Yeah, I think you've done an all right job.
I also love the fact you can tell I wear a lot of T-shirts because I've taken the shirt off and like you can see where the T-shirt ends on my arms. Thank you. That was fun. I liked Pokemon review. Now I'm gonna stop catching every Pokemon I come across. Maybe we'll see what happens.
How's the performance been on the game, man?
It's not great, but it's not a deal breaker for me.
It was for me.
Hey, there's been patches, so it was probably worse when you played it than when I'm playing.
Yeah, true. Like I've been contemplating restarting it, but I don't know.
Just live vicariously through my dumbass adventures through the Pokemon world. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Like the thing is as soon as Ghastly evolves, you can hit me up and I can literally help you evolve it to Gengar. Like
okay.
It can evolve to Gengar straight away.
Okay,
All you have to do is just trade it to me.
I'll let you know.
And I've got the games. Do I have saved data? I have just deleted a lot of data on my Switch.
I'll send out the call on Twitch. I'll be like, Moody! Moody!
Moody!
I'll probably do it after the stream.
Oh crap! I'll have to have fucking Nintendo Online, won't I?
I don't have that either yet, to be fair.
So we won't be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. I'm not trying to min max Pokemon. Not yet. Anyway.
I know.
Give it time. maybe I'll become like the biggest Pokemon fan ever. Yeah. So that's it. Pokemon streams happening Fridays at 6 p.m. on twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. Hopefully on Saturday, and it sounds like we're gonna have enough people. Jackbox stream. As we talked about at the beginning, we played Jackbox last week. Offline, everybody loved it. They want to do it again. And I've said, is it okay if I stream? Because it's fucking banging content. Everybody seems okay with it, so that should be fun. On the podcast front, next week we should be reviewing Viewfinder. I've already written mine, so I'm good on that front. Like, I've done it. I played it, finished it, did the review, and now I can just wait.
I'll have it played next week.
This writing things down thing has turned out really well because it means I don't have to remember my thoughts on Viewfinder for a week. I
won't lie, I didn't intend to review the first episode of Expanse. I didn't intend to play it until I saw it. I was just randomly looking on my PlayStation 5 last night and I was thinking, oh.
well.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And we got 2 games coming out. One I mentioned, Baldur's Gate 3, releases on Friday, August 4th on PC. It's coming to PS5 later. And also Venba is coming out on Monday, July 31st. That's coming to Xbox, Switch, and PC, and it's coming out in Game Pass. Got just enough time to play Venba for Baldur's Gate. And then we'll see what happens. I actually downloaded Exo Primal, and I just don't think I'm going to play it. Like, I think I downloaded it with the intention to try it, and it's just like, no time. No time. But that's what's happening next week. Boom. Should we do the final piece of the podcast puzzle? Something has confused Moody.
Okay. You have to take one of the games off that we're going to pick this week to review.
Which one?
F1.
For fucking crying out, that's twice in a row now. God damn it. I had a whole thing prepared where I was like, the only thing I remember about F1 2022 was all the bugs that they didn't fix. Now I can't. What's it on? Just out of curiosity.
74.
Yeah, it's more or less. Yeah, so this is OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the thing we play every week where we try to guess the OpenCritic averages of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of 2 games, one of which doesn't have reviews. We were doing it early in case the thing that just happened with F1 Manager happened. And then there was a whole podcast topic about it. But yeah, so one of the other game, that was Baldur's Gate 3. The other game we guessed was Disney's Illusion Island. I guessed that we get a 79. Moody guessed that we get a 78. And Joe Medforce guessed that we get an 89. And at the time of recording, Illusion Island has a 75 on OpenCritic, which means Moody gets a point. And the scores are now Amy 20, Moody 17, and 2 draws. I don't want to call out reviewers, but I was scrolling through the OpenCritic page because obviously I check the scores before we record. And I thought, I'll have a look at the reviews for this, like just the quotes that are on OpenCritic to see what they are. And I was like, man, some of these reviewers, and I'm not saying you have to give a game a 10 out of 10 for this, but some of these reviewers really did not take into consideration that this is a kids game designed and aimed at kids. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That was my overriding thought when I was looking at some of the lower reviews going, wow.
I won't lie. That is funny. I won't lie. It's really funny though. Right now on OpenCritic, Exo Primal, it's a 69. That's really annoying.
Nice.
That it went back up to the number I picked it for.
Yep. Hey, OpenCritic be like that sometimes.
I bet it was Steph Sterling's review because
I was thinking that, because I watched the video and they were saying like it's a good game. It just the marketing was terrible and it makes a terrible first impression. And I was like, yeah, that to be honest, that sounds fair. And then, that's why I installed it, like because I watched that video and I was like, this sounds exactly like my kind of trash, like. This sounds like the kind of game where I would love to just sit down and turn my brain off to and just bash some fucking dinosaurs. But it's just, I don't know if I'm going to get to it anytime soon. But it's there. You never know. So anyway, we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of one game, I guess. Thanks, OpenCritic. Which is Venba, which comes out on Monday, like I said. I played a demo of this at Steam Next Fest and talked about it on this podcast. In 20...
Oh, it's that one.
In 25 words or less. That was the gimmick of that bit.
What are we going to get this on?
It's on Game Pass. Or it's coming out on Game Pass.
Sweet.
So we don't need to do that.
Sweet. Sweet. I need to remember this.
I'll remind you, don't worry. Because I'm obviously really looking forward to it. But what I think it's going to get on OpenCritic isn't reflective of what I think of the game, as we've found multiple times. Thanks, Viewfinder. A game I definitely liked more than the average of people on OpenCritic. Spoilers. I'm going to go with 80. Nope. 82.
still done well, Viewfinder.
It did.
82 or?
It did, 82. Oh, yeah, I'm not knocking it. It's just like, Again, I read through some of the quotes in the review bit, and I was just like, interesting.
We know what this is going to be.
This is a true wild card situation.
Yeah. No, it's not. We know this. We know this.
69.
It's an indie game.
This
is
is
a game that I don't think a lot of critics are going to review, and it might not even get a fucking score.
So not a lot of critics are reviewing it. Worked out incredibly well in my favor in Fantasy Critic for Dave the Diver. I just want to point that out.
True.
Sometimes that can work to just skyrocket a game.
Yeah. Or it could be Lake.
Or it could be Lake. I'm still mad about Lake.
Yeah, and I'm going Lake 75.
I hope
the game looks amazing. Like you and me talked about this when we talked about it in June and everything. A lot of the games that we saw at that event looked absolutely amazing. We were excited for.
Oh yeah.
And the Scream Out games, you and me will probably be like, this is great. This is a game you should play, no doubt about. Yeah, but the consensus when it comes to the algorithm on OpenCritic can really fuck it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess it's like the joke I just made about Illusion Island, where it's the kids' game, and that doesn't necessarily say like, oh, kids' games are allowed to be bad. It's just like, yeah, kids' games are going to be a bit more simplistic than your average Metroidvania. Like, I don't think many kids are going to be playing Blasphemous 2 when it comes out. Like,
you don't see the kids playing first-person shooters Call of Duty where you do.
Kids who want to see a colourful game and play as Mickey and Donald Duck. And the game, and something they can play with their parents and not get too frustrated at. And some people, and like I've seen reviews come out being like, game's too simple, and it's like, it's a kid's game. I'd be interested to know the ratio of reviewers of Illusion Island of who has kids and who doesn't have kids. Like, I'd be interested to see what if you could separate the OpenCritic averages out between those two groups, I'd be interested to see what those were.
That will be interesting, no doubt.
But we can't do that because that would be a massive breach of data privacy. So instead, what we'll do is we'll end the podcast. This has been the Words About Games podcast, episode 362. I've been Kate, Amy, Alexander, I believe I was introduced as, and that's been the Wholesome Direct 2023 t-shirt wearing Daft Moody.
No, I introduced you as Kate Amy.
That's what I said, Kate Amy.
Oh, did
no. I thought about it. I had to think hard about it. I was like, what way around is my name?
Yes, I always do, Amy. It's here. The weekend is here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to chill. It's time to relax. Oh, it's time to go out and have some fun with friends and family. But don't forget to tell them that you love them and you're grateful for them being in your life and everything. Because if you're in their life and they're in your life, it's all good. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. I'm going to be old the next time we record this.
That's how it works.
That's how it is. But I'll still be here. Maybe. Might take it off. We'll talk about it.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
I'm taking a week off work. I'm going to take a week off podcast, all right?
I mean, fine. Sure, whatever. Do it.
No, I'll be here.
Okay.
Be awesome, everyone. See you later. Live long and prosper.
Mr. Boimler.